are getting ready for conversations with the artiste. Don't forget, make sure you share the link, all right? Share the link. We are getting ready. Conversations with the artiste. I want to say a special good night to everybody locked in right now. Conversations with the artiste. And tonight, I get the opportunity to speak to a gentleman about his journey and the band. I think they're about 32 years old now, the band. Yeah. We are talking about Edwin Yearwood and the big band Crossfire. Let's say hi to Edwin. Edwin, what's going on, my brother?
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up?
Everything is good?
Everything good, everything blessed, my brother. Everything good your side?
Everything is good my side, my brother. Great to have you right here in Conversations with the Artiste. Now, let's start with, for those who may not know, who's Edwin Yearwood? Who's the band Crossfire? Let's start there first.
I'm Edwin Yearwood of the band Crossfire of Barbados. It's a group that started in, I think it was 1989 or something like that. Started in the hotel circuit and worked our way through to the nightclub circuit and worked our way through to recording music and just spreading our wings. And we are what we are today. Real talk. That's the best I can summarize it to you.
32 years in the business, that's a mighty long time, Edwin. What do you think? What's your formula for the band? What's the band's formula?
You know, I don't think the band has a formula. I think what has been happening is that we had a group of people who were just passionate about soca music, who were just passionate about having a band, about being, you know, because most of us would have been around music, but finding it difficult to be able to get into a band or be able to be a part of a big band. So we were more or less all rejects, and we just decided to come together, be rejects, and things happen. Yeah, but we basically
how did it feel to be a reject? Let's start there. I mean,
we couldn't get in any bands. You know, we couldn't get in any bands at all. I couldn't get in a band as a singer, not even just as a lead singer. I couldn't get in a band as a back vocalist, nothing, because I was not sexy. I was not the best, the most handsome guy, and I was pretty skinny and pimply. And you know, I remember people would tell me that, band owners, band managers would tell me that, we can't work with you, Edwin. Yeah, so yeah, we went through a lot of that, you know. So it was a lot of deflating, infuriating, hard, difficult times to get through. You know, you felt inferior to people. to artists, but you never gave up. You had the passion for soca music, especially, you know. So that brought us through. That brought us together, and it took us all the way to here.
The name Crossfire, who found the name? Who decided this is what we're gonna call the band? How did that happen?
Well, first of all, the definition of crossfire is we see ourselves as representing the Caribbean. So it's a cross pollination of music in terms of how we want to perform or record it. It's not one influence. There's a lot of influences from Antigua, the Virgin Islands, Jamaica, Guyana, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, you name it. You know, uh, we like to have that flavor in there, and the fire is just we like to do it hot, and that's where it all came from. But the original crossfire came from us just sitting down as a hotel band, sitting down, just dreaming about being on stage with our own band, and uh, a, 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 a a show came on the TV that was in front of us with the name Crossfire, and we just took it from there.
With the
Yeah,
exact
so
same spelling of your Crossfire,
no,
or
it was the normal spelling first, but when we held on to it and wanted to have the funkiness and have the difference, we then we then took Crossfire and changed the name and everything and the definition of it.
your first performance as Crossfire? Where was that? You remember the event? You remember the location?
The first performance of Crossfire as Crossfire was an All Year's Night at Discovery Bay Hotel because they were the only people who would hire us at the time. All Year's Night used to be a special gig, and it was important for us to have that gig because in those days a band had to buy its own sound system or have its own sound system.
Right.
So we had to get a sound system on hire purchase, not even rental, on hire purchase.
Higher purchase.
Uh, yeah, so the first gig was important because that really was the down payment on the equipment.
Niceness. Let's go back to the founding members of Crossfire. Let's list them out for them.
Um, Michael Agard, who was the keyboardist at the time, who would have been manager after. Felix Ford, who is still playing bass today. Tony Rebel Bailey, who is still playing guitar today, and myself, who's still singing today.
32 years in the business. Let's list out some of the places the band would have traveled. I mean, this must be an extensive list.
Latin America, Europe, uh, the Caribbean, of course. We've been around. I could tell you some of the more outstanding tours that you would remember, like Colombia, um, um, Santo Domingo, Germany, Ireland, Holland, Belgium. Some fantastic things there. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Then you have
Uh,
to come back to the Caribbean where you started Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Grenada, Dominica, St. Vincent, and the entire list.
I'm going
Yeah,
to ask you now, as a band, did you find it hard to get out of Barbados?
of course. Everything takes its time, but if you focus and if you want what you want and you go after it, most often than not, you might get there as long as you stay with it. Or I'm saying all that to say that we had a mission, and the mission we used to have it on a mission board, and we would come into the rehearsal because it was the first year we would be a hotel band. The second year we wanted to become more popular in the nightclub circuit. The third year we wanted to be a household name in Barbados, and the next year we wanted to be out of Barbados with our own recording. And it
Wow.
just happened like that, but it didn't happen like that. I mean, it just happened like clockwork. It was a lot of hard work. I had a lot of people behind the scenes. Like Phil Phillips, who was the manager then, a lot of vision and stuff. So there was a lot of people behind the scenes. Nicholas Branca, so many people. Real talk.
What was the first song for Crossfire as a band?
It was a song that was never played. A song called "Hold Tight." Never played. Actually, it was so long ago. They used to call it the jingle band because the song only used to play when Canada played in the background announcing something.
You
So
serious?
yeah, my family used to tease me bad from the time it come on. hold tight, I'm jumping. I'm in Canada talking. Yes, people, blah, 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 blah. And that's the only time we would ever hear this song.
Wow. But
Yeah.
32 years in the business, that's a very long time. And you guys are still here. You guys are still representing, still putting out music. Now, one of the questions always asked, your formula for writing. How is it that you are able to still write songs 32 years after the band has started?
Um, because we deal with real life. We deal with real life. We deal with all the emotions in life, from happiness to sadness to fun, to expressing yourself, love, anger, you know, upliftment, everything. We don't spare anything, and we don't sit down and plan. We just write. So we don't have a formula as such. We just deal with everyday life. Like, for instance, we would be on the bus, for a bus going from point A to point B, sometimes on the tour bus for like 8 hours, and we just talking
Wow.
so much nonsense. And you would actually gather something from what the nonsense the guy's talking. And you go and write a whole song, like oil pumping. Now we talking so much crap. And just by the time we got to the next venue, we had a song called Oil Pumping. So
Wow.
it's like that. I don't, well, me personally, I don't sit down and plan and say, well, let me see, let me write this or write that. Just go with the flow. So for
So,
me, life is really what we write about, and I believe that's one of the reasons why we've been able to stay so long.
so it sounds like a team effort as well.
Definitely, I don't think that any band any band can go from point A to point B without everybody all in. Everybody can't write songs, but there are people who can produce. There are people who can color it. So many
A
things
hammer
that you
beat.
can. Yeah, yeah, real talk. So as long as everybody's involved, you can't lose. You can't lose.
If you're now joining us, welcome to Conversations with the Artiste, and we have Edwin Yearwood out of the band Crossfire. And if you're wondering what is Conversation with the Artiste, this is the opportunity for you to hear from the artists themselves, their journey, and we have their top 10 songs. And with a band like Crossfire, with 32 years in the business, they have an extensive catalog of music, and I tasked Edwin to give me his top 10. And we're going to dive into those top 10s. We're going to hear the stories behind these top 10 songs. And we're going to jam with them as well. Edwin, I want to start with Obadeli. This is one of your top 10 songs. Let's talk about Obadeli, the idea about writing this song, what inspired you. Let's talk about Obadeli.
Okay. As Barbadians, to me, we had this thing of bigging everybody else but our own, from all over the world but our own. And it was a time I was growing up where people were just um, there weren't many positive things to say about the youth. We weren't highlighting the positive things of the youth. And one day there was a newspaper clipping of a youth who was stabbed to death at the front page.
Wow.
And my manager has spoken to me about it. And that was the headline to the entire paper. But somewhere in the back, we had a youngster who had just broken our record uh, running. I think it was been assisted at the time, but the point is, it was the fastest time in the world at the 100 meters, and he was like a little ad in the back of the paper, not even a picture of him. And
Wow.
I thought that within itself was a statement. So we thought that it would be good to write about something like that and to let him know and let young people know that at the end of the day, people see what you are doing. We see what you're doing. We will represent, and that's basically what had happened with the song. We put it out there to represent young people, and it did exactly that.
Wow, so let's take a listen then. Obadeli, part of Edwin Yearwood's top 10 songs. Let's take a listen.
Hey, on your mark, get ready, get set, let's go. Are you ready? Yes, sir. Are you ready? Yes, sir. Jump up when I shout to a bus. Jump up when I shout to a bus. Are you ready? Yes, sir. Are you ready? Yes, sir. Jump up when I shout to a bus. Jump up when I shout to a bus. Delhi Thompson, Delhi champion, Delhi
want to ask you, do you remember the lyrics, Edwin? I mean, it's been a
Of,
while.
of course, I remember the lyrics.
Of
Of
course, you
course.
want to crown with this song as well.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think it's Road March and Pickety Crop. Um, yeah, the Calypso competition, yeah, and Road March.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that? What was that feeling like? I mean, you wrote the song because you recognize young people were always being well. The positive things that they were doing was always pushed to the back, and you wanted to highlight what this young fellow was doing for Barbados, and not only Barbados but the
I think
Caribbean. But then to take that song and win a crown with that song as well. What was that feeling like?
it was awesome because we wrote the song and we said that we would go into competition with it because we were invited to be in this new tent at the time called I think it was called Bacchanal Time tent. I can't remember, but we were invited to be in the tent and to perform for me to be a performer in the tent. And I didn't just want to sing any old thing, and I couldn't find anybody to write a song for me, so I decided, well, let me sit down and write some songs. Try my hand at writing songs, and that and a song called "What's on My Head" came up. So we took that, we took those songs, we put them out. We knew we were going to get licks from people because it was different. They were different songs, had a different sound, and it wasn't the norm. And as soon as you step out the box and you do something that is not enough, you get some lashes for it. We knew we were going to get lashes, but at the end of the day, it is what we wanted to do, and it worked out. So it was like there were so many victories in one. You know, it wasn't just a victory of winning the crowns; it was a victory of you actually believing in what you were doing and getting there and succeeding. Um, with so many other people who doubted you that you just were able to prove them wrong. You know, so it was a lot of victories in one.
Did Oba ever reached out to you about the song?
Definitely, I reached out to him too because the funny thing is that as that was happening, the Olympics was coming around as well. You know, and it so happened that he ended up placing, winning a bronze medal for Barbados
Yeah.
in a highly contested race. You know, and it is fantastic to be even a part of that. He came and we spoke about it. You know, he was very grateful for the support, and we were grateful for him for coming across and just hanging out. Actually, he just not too long wished me happy birthday too when it was my birthday. So he's doing well. He's doing fine. He's still doing his thing.
Fantastic, fantastic. Of course, conversation with the artist Edwin Yearwood out of the big band Crossfire. We had his number one song out of his top 10. That was Obadeli. Let's talk about something greater. Yes, let's hear the history behind this one.
Well, I was I was on a plane and we flew into Haiti and we saw the conditions on the ground, and it was, I was speechless when we left. And sometimes people think that they have it bad, and there are people that just have it a lot worse than they do.
Yeah.
Um, it stayed on my mind all the way through. And when I got back to Barbados, I just started looking around at the things from even coming into Barbados. I started looking at Barbados, and I recognized how much people are taking life for granted, how much people are taking things for granted. When it's really, be complaining is really a lot worse. Just not too far away from us. I mean, a really, really a lot worse. Not too far from away from where we are. And it humbled me to the point where I thought I needed to put pen to paper. You know, um, all the injustices against the young people who were misunderstood. So many emotions came, and I thought that I should just put pen to paper, and that's what came up.
Well, what a inspirational song. It really pulls at your heart. I mean, sitting down or writing the lyrics to this song. I mean, did you cry? Because I mean, if you can hear the emotion in this song.
Well, well, I didn't cry, but it was that kind of vibe in writing the song because, as I said, we had now started to really travel a lot, So you started to experience different cultures, and you started to experience the good and the bad, and to experience racism firsthand in a country of racist people. It's different to be in a country where you got one or two people who racist, but
Right.
to be in a country of racist people and experiencing in different ways, you know, there's nothing positive about racism. But at the end of the day, to go to a country like Ireland where you're walking down the street with your brethren, about 10 of us, and just picture yourself going down Swan Street, and it looks a lot like Swan Street then. And all the stores, people are in the stores buying stuff, and as we walk past each store, all of the people coming outside and following you. So you ended up at a fountain with hundreds of people literally walking and following you. I think they knew that we were a band, but they were just curious because they never saw black people at all,
Wow.
you know? So,
Wow.
so for me, that again was a humbling experience. The whole trip to Ireland a few times, every time I went to Ireland, it was a humbling experience. So all of those things came into mind, came back to my memory while I was writing this song. So, racism, you know, religion and how people abuse religion. So, you know, everything was in there. All the ingredients were right there for that song.
Well, let's take a listen to something greater coming on from the big band, Crossfire.
I'm a drifting stranger in the land of the not so free, where there's never care for a weary soul in a reckless society, where a poor man can't have equality or his offspring a bright tomorrow. And the fight takes toll on the tired bones, leaving almost nowhere to go. But we must keep tumbling and fighting on, 'cause I've made my discoveries that we can't ever seem to realize man's his own greatest enemy. A lion is only a threat to man when man crosses on his domain. But a man will always be cruel to man, and that way will never be changed. So I must believe that there's something greater than to keep up the fight. I've just got to see that there's something greater. Alright, take your head off the clouds and look till you see that there's something greater than chill me wrongfully and I'll still be free. That there's something greater than Jaja calling, man still tries to separate his own brothers with class and creed. Upper class, middle class, and lower class, with the lower following lead. Separation shows like a certain eye, and it spreads on rapid and fast. Man on dying bed needs a donor's blood. Does he request a certain class? No, but no. Who am I? Just a wanderer, passing judgment and kicking fuss. Because this is a crucial part of life, when man returns to nothing but dust. Now I wipe my tears and I stand to feast, smiling off that class and creed game. 'Cause when rich and poor convert back to dust, that dust texture remains the same. So
Powerful lyrics from Crossfire, something greater.
Yeah, man.
Boy, listening to the lyrics now, Edwin, those feelings come back again.
Yeah, man.
Boy, something greater. Of course, conversations with the artist Edwin Yearwood, Crossfire. Edwin, let's move into the voice in my head. Let's talk about that one.
All right. Well, before I do that, just let me say, you know, that song "Something Great" is my all-time favorite. And that being in a country like Colombia, you calling all the time. You go to tour Colombia and you're calling and asking them what are the bigger songs, what are the songs most played on the radio, so that you can write your steps accordingly. And the people telling you something greater, and you getting frustrated. Like, listen, I know you may like something greater personally, but I don't want your favorites. I want the songs that are playing because you're thinking pop, you're thinking the big tunes, you know.
Right.
So you write your set, and the guy just insisting something greater. And you write your set and you put it on the side as a plan B. But you're on the stage now at this music festival. I will never forget Beanie Man was in the VIP, but he had to perform next. He was in VIP, sipping on some wine and stuff. And we started the song, and I I I had goosebumps. These people know the song so good that you just started the song. I didn't sing anything. You just started with the guitar riff, and so we went up and then the man went look back at me and we just go, you know. So
Wow.
it's amazing that that song came from being a pickety crop tune to just flying and going where it went, you know. Real talk. So big up to you guys in Crossfire for real. As it relates to Voice in My Head was penned before this song. But Voice in My Head was penned with Obadeli. And Voice in My Head basically was just about, again, all the violence and madness that was going on around Barbados at the time. And I mean, it's still going on, so the song is still fairly relevant today, unfortunately. Um, the violence that was going on around Barbados at the time was just crazy. You know, somebody was stabbing somebody, somebody was stabbing somebody, somebody was stabbing somebody all the time. And you just started to think, you know, is this going to be a safe place for my kids? Is this going to be a safe place for my children to grow without me being around, without me being there to police and connect the dots? What if something happens to me and unfortunately and untimely, and my kids are left to fend for themselves? What's going to happen? You know. So it brought that kind of Bible to me, but at the same time, I recognize, you know. But all you have to do is look at each day differently, you know. Wake up and fight again the next day. Wake up and live again the next day, and that's basically what the song was about.
What was it like writing a song with Obadeli? I mean, that must be it has to be a vibe because there's so much emotion there. When you sit and you listen to Voice in My Head, you can't help but to close your eyes and actually picture what you are saying and how you're, and, you know, and really feel it. What was that like writing it with Obadeli?
Um, I always approach it the same way all the time. For me, it doesn't matter who is around. Um, it's about getting it done. It's about being focused on it. You know, I spend so much time away from loved ones to make sure that I get the work done because it is my job. That's the chosen career, the chosen path
Bath, yeah.
that I took. You know, so it's always an honor to work with anybody. But at the end of the day, the focus is on getting it done. So it was business as usual. You know, we were honored that everybody was around, but it was business as usual, just getting that done.
All right, so let's take in Voice in My Head coming on from Crossfire.
Lift my head up to the skies and question the heavens, asking why. Why must I go on to live in this violence and crime? Why can't I toil the lands I know and watch all my children's children grow? Why must I go on to live in this violence and crime? Someday, someday. Problems ahead, don't know yet what they're that you find him everywhere. All my lottery gives you hope of reaching dreams, but that is as far as we go, 'cause he knows that too extreme. A voice in my head keep talking. A voice in my head keep
Voice in my head, Edwin Yearwood.
it tells me the road is long. It tells
What a powerful song as well. How is it writing songs like these and also writing the more party songs? I mean, there's some people who can only write either social commentary. There's some people who can only write party music, but it seems that the band has been able to juggle party and also social commentary.
What I say to that is basically what I said from the beginning, where I don't approach writing as writing. I approach writing from the standpoint of everyday living, everyday life, looking at life, looking at expressing myself. Right. That's what I wanted to do. Instead of looking at it as writing, looking at it as expressing myself. Most of the time, what you're hearing in songs is something that I live, something that somebody around me live, something that many of us live, and I got to see it, and I got to express it. So there are different emotions that you feel at different times, you know. So you'll be having fun sometimes, and you'll write some fun songs. You'll be having a reflective time. You'll be having a good time, a bad time, a sad time, a happy time, a angry time, a loving time, or a romantic time. So I always put pen to paper with everything, you know. Because somebody always relate to life, to real life. Like if I say I walk down the road and I get a nail job, you know, there's somebody out there who had a nail job. I say, no, that happened to me too, but that happened to me. You know, if you keep it 100 of the life, will be.
There you go. Words from the general himself. So, artists, there you go. That's the secret formula. Is life experiences, huh? Life experiences and how you create music that people can relate to. I like that. I like that. Edwin, let's get into some of the more sweet songs. You know, what the band is really known for. You know, the band was given the name the Groove, the band of Groove. Yeah. So let's get into a bit of that. Let's talk about oil pumping. You touched a bit on it before, but let's really talk about oil pumping.
Um, we were traveling from Boston to Virginia, I think. On the tour bus, we had a tour bus where we would just talk a lot of crap and enjoy it. You know, when the bus stopped, you pick up all kinds of vibes from people. You go on again, you know. So we were just talking a whole set of crap, and that's really it. And in a nutshell, that's where the song came from. There were some oil fields that we passed. I had never seen one as big, and the driver, who was also treating it as a tour, started to talk about it being a fairly new idea to drill for oil in that area. So that's where it all came from. That's where it all came from.
Really, just driven past some oil fields.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and you fellas sit down and talk bare foolishness, and you just say, that sounds like a good idea. You know, we laugh about at things, and it just come to fruition.
What was it like on the bus trying to pull together this idea of oil pumping? Like, did somebody start to hum a beat, and then you start to hum a little one or two lines? What was it like?
No, what happened is that as the driver said what he said, I started saying, "Boy, we need to find some oil, but we need to find some oil and get rid of the oil." And it just stayed there. So when I'm writing or I have an idea, I go very quiet. So I went quiet and I just come in it. And I just kept that. So imagine driving for 6 hours with that in your head.
Wow.
But it's still out there, I had the song. There was nothing else to do. So I had the song I had the idea for the song. I just sat in the third room then. I wrote the song.
Let's take a listen. Oil Pumping, the band Crossfire.
I bought some land for Virginia land for in search of oil me, but I only find me. Don't care how deep it's. Now it's knee high and still. So I add some pressure to get oil. I need to drill down low, deeper low, dig down low, drill down low, deeper low, dig down low. I need to drill down low, deeper low, dig down low.
How does it feel after all this time and still hearing these songs blazing on every radio station? I mean, you're traveling and people are still coming and saying, Edwin, you need to sing Oil Pumping, you need to sing this particular song. How does it feel?
I just take it all in. I take it all in. It's a blessing. I am very, very grateful to be able to do this, to be able to see the impact that you have made over the years, because that's what you want to do. I always wanted to matter. And when I say matter, I don't mean be on everybody's lips with some person or lips. I wanted to make a contribution, a real contribution. I always, from a little boy, I tried playing football. I went for representing Barbados and big way, but alas, I was not talented enough or gifted enough with body strength or much other things. So music did it for me, and I never saw myself somewhat representing Barbados with music. I didn't see it the same way as I saw sport, and then I started to see it that way and recognize, wait, well, I actually representing Barbados. Well, I might not be wearing a number on my back, but when I go there, whatever I'm doing, whatever we are doing is representing Barbados. Whatever we do, from behavior right back down, we'll be representing my country. So the way forward was to just be as legit as possible, spread that culture, spread that word, to come into business like here. I mean, it might not mean much, it might not be as significant to others as it is to me, but to come into the local business and all it was hearing was bam bam, bumsy, and wine, to hear him bump up. And
The usual suspects.
You're hearing it from major artists. It says that the Barbadian way got out there.
Yeah.
We were able to get it out there some more. So for me, it was a blessing to represent Barbados, and it continues to be an honor to represent Barbados. And I could say that a lot of people have not, my personal fans, how should I put it? There are not many fans that go through what they have been going through. You would have fans of a particular artist, and they will respect that. But every time I meet one of my fans, they will always say, "I just had to cast 3 people for you, boy." Them had me hot. So it's like they always have to represent. So for me, I said to myself, you know what? I need to represent my fans too. I need to go there and be a positive Edwin Yearwood right through, and represent the people that represent me. You can't say nothing about me on a level. You might say that is a Watless fella, and I the Watless
Is there
fella.
any truth to that?
I get up back on stage and stuff like that. I won't say Watless, but I had my hands full here or there. I won't lie. I was not always a good guy. I was not an angel, But at the end of the day, it's all about respect and blessings, So I thought it was important to represent my country and my fans to the fullest. So that's what I will continue to do as long as God gives me that life and strength, for real.
If you're now tuning in, we're here with Edwin Yearwood, Conversations with the Artiste. You hear your favorite songs and you're wondering, how did the artist really come about with these songs, or, some backstories behind the artist themselves. And this platform gives you that opportunity to hear from the artist themselves. Edwin, time is getting away and we still have a lot of tunes to go. Let's talk about Douchey. Let's talk about that one. How did that one come about?
That's from traveling to Bonaire, Curacao, and Aruba, but especially Bonaire, because that's the phrase that's something. Douchey means sweetheart or darling, honey, whichever you choose, in Bonaire and Curacao. And I came back to Barbados, and when I said douchey, people were looking at me strange, you know. So I with my sense of humor or wannabe sense of humor, I thought, well, why not try a song like this? So that's basically where that came from. I wrote it that kind of fashion. It means one thing in Curacao and Aruba and Bonaire, and it means something else in Barbados.
Well, yeah, you talk about people looking at you in a certain way. I mean, actually, writing a song, creating the song. Was there any backlash from the song?
Backlash as in negativity?
Negativity, yes.
In which song? I mean, any song?
For Douchey.
No, not at
Just
all.
for the title itself. Just for the title alone.
No, not that I know of. You see, I always thought that writing, well, what I wanted to do was write songs in such a manner that they're thought provoking as well, and not just hanging out there on a limb, real obvious, like, girl, come here, let me pet you in the corner, whatever the case may be. I prefer to go down a particular road. And there's so many tunes like Sugar Cane. There's so many tunes we don't have time to go into them.
That's true.
That would have gone down a particular road because it came from not being wordless, but having a sense of humor. Because when people initially heard some of these songs, they would smile or they would laugh and say, "Oh, that boy, they're really signing up for whatever the case may be." So that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted, and that's sometimes that's what makes the song last, because people hear the sweetness in the song and they get into it, and then years later they be like, "Yeah, that he's singing about all the time. I didn't even know that he's singing about." That's how it goes.
Let's take a listen. Douchey coming out from Crossfire. General Douchey, I tell you. Yeah, somebody saying, Bajans love to run up in the humor.
Let you know. All right, Deirdre. All right, Speedway. It's all right. It's all good.
Yes, of course, we're talking to the General Edwin Yearwood, and we still got a lot of songs to get to, so let's continue. Should we move to Pump Me Up? I mean, another favorite. I mean, I don't think you can go anywhere and not sing Pump Me Up. I think we stuck at the moment. So let's just take in this one until we get him sorted.
Oh God,
The General Edwin Yearwood Crossfire.
I'm say, the fretting up of the year of flexing.
Oh, you're back now. Welcome back. Technology.
I don't know what happened there, boy.
So let's talk a
You
bit
don't know
about
what
Pump Me Up.
happened?
That's probably Daydream.
I feel so.
Let's talk a bit about Pump Me Up. I don't think you can go anywhere and not sing Pump Me Up. I mean, this is one of the biggest songs out there from the band. Anytime you go to a fete and you do not play Pump Me Up, or even when the DJ plays Pump Me Up, the response is tremendous.
And you know, it really wasn't meant to be a party song as such.
Really?
Yeah. This song comes from it. I mean, it's actually going on right now, but we don't want to make that too big. If you listen to the lyrics, I'm gonna say, hey, the fretting about the rear up like I'm gonna say, hey, the phone in the home, you hear it ring. Every day, I'm gonna say, you don't. It was basically a generation of Barbadians that didn't like how we looked,
Right.
didn't like what we represented, didn't like how we were wearing on here. It was day after day calling program. I want to song on somebody calling and say, when you got here like that, I have that sort of power, you're dangerous, you know. So many negative things, you know. So
Yeah.
the song came about. The song came about from that kind of vibe, where it was just representing that you really just you just wanted music. You didn't come for the attention, because I was never here for the attention. I was never here to prove anything to anybody. I just wanted to be able to sing, to be able to express myself and let people hear what I had to offer. That's all I wanted, you know. So it was a little it was a little new to me to have people on your case every single day about something that you don't even care about, you know. So it's like, but it resonated so much with young people, you know. And then I remember being at a particular venue, and they wouldn't let the doctor come in because of how they looked.
Wow.
And yeah, and this is the early days of Crossfire. So all these things played a role in this song. All these things played a role in this song. So the song was really more like a social commentary that just ended up being a very sweet thing.
Wow. Imagine that, huh?
Yeah.
That actually brought back memories of us seeing you with your hair part blonde, part black. I mean,
bare lips in the skin for that, man. About the place you hear black and blonde, you idiot. No all kind of artists, rappers, no kind of thing wearing it. See how
wow.
life is?
Imagine that, huh?
Yep.
Imagine that.
But-
Time is
but-
really
but-
getting away. Time is really getting away from us, and we
let's
still
go,
got a
let's go,
few
let's go.
songs to hit. Let's talk about Party of the Year.
What we could say quickly is that I am a very stubborn person musically, and there had people who were out there, some artists out there who were basically saying, you know, Edwin done, Edwin can't do this thing no more, and I was always somebody that liked to prove them wrong. So I wrote Party of the Year, and it wasn't getting much airplay, and I love that from the standpoint of competition.
Right.
From the standpoint of competition, I always thought that I could take what people call a dead song and bring it to life on stage. It was a challenge for me. I wanted that challenge, and I had done it already with a song called Agony, and a song.
Oh yeah, I remember Agony for sure.
Yeah, and another song. I try to remember the song. Quick. It's a song that I had on Camouflage and stuff like that, but I can't remember. But the song, even I can't remember the song. That whole song and people, right? So whenever I remember Kemal saying to me, being on stage performing, and Kemal was saying, "Well, you don't sing the song and promote the song," and I refused to promote the song. Went and cheers that lit. But the same thing for that's Party of the Year. Party of the Year has a lot of meaning for me, has a lot of emotion for me, because it was the one title that I didn't have, and it's the one title that everybody was saying that I probably would never win. And I knew that once I had the chance, I would take it. So I was real confident, even overconfident at some point in time. I was real confident that one day I would get it. And I just wanted to. I didn't necessarily need a popular song. I just wanted a song that I loved and I felt, and that's what happened to Party of the Year.
All right, let's take a listen. Party of the Year coming out from the General.
It's the party of the year. It's crazy. I tell my friends this is the place to be if you're looking for some fun. The DJ's playing and choose them one by one. Another fella with a gun. The vibe's so sweet and in medication. To my sweetness in my soul. I'm feeling high, this party feels so nice. I feel I'm going to lose control, 'cause I don't feel like sleeping. I feel like I'm be here all night, 'cause I don't feel like sleeping. I see it what the that I like, and I don't feel like sleeping. Go ahead, I will be fine, and I don't feel like sleeping. I must enjoy this life of mine. This party's nobody looking for a fight. This party be feeling alright. Holding Papa don't give a damn. Party of the year, it got me. Working it, 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 it got me.
Were you ever concerned about getting it singing that part? It's sweet.
Listen, you don't have enough time to get into that. You don't have enough time to get into that. I was forced that night. I could not talk. The night of the competition, I could not talk until it was time to go on stage. I would never forget. We were backstage working on it. You know, like, what is work on the box to get the box to move? We were working and working, and I could not hit that note to move. And TC was going on. And just before TC went on, my voice started to open up. I was like, what? I was so excited. And I said, well, I cannot stop singing. If I stop singing now, you're going to come back. I went by the stage and all two TC, it was crazy. I had to hit the stage because I know that if we had stopped, that I would not get it back. And I could not talk for the rest of the
Wow. I'm telling you, that's
Yeah.
I actually remember the competition because I remember I think we wanted an interview and you were told, look, we just need to let you be because Edwin has to get it right.
I was out of it. I was
He was
out
really
of it. I couldn't talk at all. I couldn't talk at all. I was so hoarse. So God just let me go on the stage. God, like you say, you know what? I can give you a chance.
Give you a little blood.
I can give you a little blood. When you're done, I can shut it off. Just come on. After I hit the last note, we shut it off. We can talk again. Crazy.
2020, you brought out a song called I Am. Let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah. I put that on the list because it is a song that I wrote a while ago. But in the recent climate, I thought that it don't just sit on it, just release it, you know. I teamed up with Nicholas Branca for it again, who would have started with me from day one, who was always in my corner from day one. I want to say thanks to him, maestro of maestros. And there's nothing to it. It's pretty self-explanatory. The song is straight up again living experiences. We in this skin melanin, and being oppressed all the time, and we need to stand up and say yes. At the end of the day, this is living melanin, and that's as simple as that. As powerful, but simple as that.
But before I get into the song, because you did mention Nicholas Branca, and I wanted to mention him at the end, but like you said, you had a long history while working with Nicholas Branca. I'm sure that the influence from him and his knowledge has really helped, shape the band, and you as a person, musically as well.
Um, shape the band. Listen, Nicholas Branker was always and will always be a big part of what I do. If the byproduct was the sound of Crossfire, from day one to work with Nicholas Branker for me was an honor. And he wasn't even into just soca at that time. You know, I remember he came up to me. He said, "I heard you singing a song. Don't let the sun go down on me." This was at the hotel. He said, "I want to record that. Come in the studio." I went in the studio and I said, "Well, if you do a little something, I can do it for you." And I was real shy and real quiet, and and that's how we started. We started with him reaching out to young people, with him trying to work with young people to express something different because he wanted to bring out himself as well in terms of the vast amount of music that is in this man. So I was real lucky, real blessed, and real honored to work with Nicholas Brandt throughout his career. I was really, really blessed.
Let's
I'm gonna
take
do.
Let's take in I Am coming up from the General. And if you're now joining us, welcome to Conversations with the Artiste. We were supposed to go for an hour, but we still got one or two songs to go. And I'm really enjoying this, so we'll just extend it just a few minutes after. But
No problem.
we'll,
Pay me overtime, my guy.
let's take in I Am coming up from Edwin Yearwood. So a mixture coming out from the General. You get some social commentary. We even talked about a song that was really meant to be a social commentary that turned into a party song. The mixture of music. The mixture of music you get from the band Crossfire and of course the General Edwin Yearwood. Now I wanted to touch something you said earlier, when we were talking about Party of the Year, where people thought, man, Edwin done. I mean, remember the time you actually said, you know what, you were finished with competition, you were good, you were comfortable. And, people started to question if you still have it. I mean, that I think. How did you feel as a person, as an artist? Hearing people saying, "Man, Edwin, man, he washed up, he done." We had enough of Edwin. He can't do it no more. I mean, how does it feel as an artist? You're dedicating your life to put out music there for people, and then you get these negative comments at times.
When you get in this game, you put yourself out there to the public. You can't expect all glamour. You can't expect all good. You can't expect all positive. There will be detractors. There will be people who have points because there are times you didn't show up, and an entertainer needs to remember that you're almost as good as the last performance. The last time somebody sees you, the last thing you remember. So if somebody sees
All right, and we lost him there for a minute. You know how it goes with technology, but we'll just try to get him back in. I see. There
Yeah,
we go.
yeah, I stick idea. So if somebody sees slagging on stage, that's the last thing they will remember,
Right.
So I don't feel how I use things like that as motivation for me because I didn't spend 30 something years in this for nothing. I didn't spend 30 something years in this by accident. It's through pure passion and love for this. I love my job. I wake up and go to the office every day, one way or the other, whether it's in the studio, whether it's in the mirror singing, whether it's in my bathroom trying to get a better note hit that I didn't hit it before. I love my job. It's what I do for a living. You know, the COVID-19 stalled it completely. This is over a year now that I've not been out there, I've not worked. But at the end of the day, I still love my job and I still have a passion for my job and representing Barbados. I will not stop for nothing. So the detractors only seek to motivate me. They don't recognize it, but it pushes me harder because I need to come better all the time. And I have, as I said, I have some crazy fans out there who represent me more than just the music. When people attack your personality and stuff like that, I think fans literally stand up for you. So I need to stand up for my fans. I will always do that.
To get an album go gold in an era where soca music was probably not recognized the way it should be. That is one of a huge. That's a huge feat. How did it feel as a band to receive such an accolade?
It's been a huge honor. Let me brag a little and say things like having the keys to the city of Boston, keys to the city of Florida, those kind of things that the mayors of these states
Yeah.
give to you. To having a gold CD selling over 500,000 copies in Canada as an independent label, not just a label, but an independent label. It's a remarkable feat because it wasn't even with normal R&B artists and stuff like that. It wasn't happening in Canada. You had to be known as a huge on a huge label to even get those numbers. So to get those numbers and have a gold CD, it shocked me hell out of me when it happened. But it was something that you only dreamt about, my brother. You only dreamt about, and you said, what? Soca music in a time where 500 copies was a big thing.
Yeah.
500 copies of soca music back then. So to go from 500 copies to 50,000 copies to 100,000 copies to 200,000 copies plus, man, that is awesome. That album pumped me up. Just was everywhere you went, and I am so proud and grateful to be a part of that. Real talk.
There you go, the General Edwin Yearwood. We have two more songs, General. Wet Me. I purposely left this for the second last because another one of those songs that you cannot go to a fete and not play. And when played, the reaction, I think it's almost like a wake-up song for a fete because you can go into a fete and see people standing and probably drinking and stuff. But from the time Wet Me comes on, it is a party atmosphere.
I can't explain it, my brother. I can't explain it. I am really blessed and really lucky. I'm real humbled by these things, I guess these songs are just nice songs. The song was a Watless. It was supposed to be a Watless song. But
You admit it.
But that's why I said it was supposed to be a Watless song. But then I said, you know what? I had an idea as I was writing Wet Me, I started to put in sweat, lyrics for sweat. And I said, you know what? That's a completely other story. So let me leave sweating and let sweating be the Watless song. So Wet Me, then I started focusing on Wet Me to be a party song where, from my experience of being on stage and being in the audience, is when you're really having a good time, you don't remember anything. But when you catch it up, you realize you're wet, you're soaking wet, you had a blast. And really, that's what the song was about.
There you go. So let's take this one coming up from the General and Crossfire. Wet Me. And I see people talking about all these Watless songs. So you got some.
Yeah, I have a lot of Watless songs to do.
DJ Timeless, Ricky.
feeling must be good when you go on stage and you start to play this song, and you know there's a point where you actually just cut the words, and then you can just hear the entire audience singing lyric for lyric, word for word, this song.
Always a good feeling. Always a good feeling, my brother. When you start singing this song and you see the emotion from people, your hands going in the air, people holding on to each other, you know, people screaming, people just releasing so much energy, you know, it's always a good feeling, man. You can't be an artist and not love the fact that you succeeded in evoking emotion from people, you know, because it's what you would want to feel if you were in the audience. And to be able to successfully see it consistently happening every single time you play with me, it's almost the same response. Whether it's 2 people, whether it's 25,000 people, you can start the band and they will sing that part for you without asking. I mean, I think they're bad words, I think, but make a lot of sense at the end of the day.
Good. I was going to ask you, what are some of the words you've heard? What are some of the lyrics you've heard when you've actually stopped the band and people singing the song? What are some of those words you've heard?
Man, you can't say on air, man. This is still family radio. This is still family TV and things, you know. You can't say. But people say a lot of different things and different. And what's so uncanny, what's so strange is that per country, per nation you go in, whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's Barbados, Guyana, Dominica, Trinidad, UK, wherever, people have a different way of saying it and a different thing to say, you know. And
Right.
it's always funny. It's always funny, but it's always a wake-up call to different cultures that you need to respect. So I just enjoy it. It's an awesome thing. It's an awesome blessing to be able to travel the world with these kind of stuff.
That's a fantastic point because, you know, we were talking about Dushi and, you know, and there's certain songs. There was another song as well. It's slipping me right now. But, you know,
Sapase.
yeah, Sapa, there you go. Sapase, you know, it means something totally different in another country. But, you
Yep.
know, but you can take it and still make it. And that
Correct.
song's, again, another fantastic song. A song that took, I think, the world by storm. I mean, even the dance as well.
We asked for the top 10 that I like for particular personal reasons. But let me tell you, Sapase and Sugarcane and them kind of tunes, you can't leave them out of anything, you know, especially Sapase. So, I mean, it is what it is. You can't play all, you can't talk all, you can't talk about all. But yes, I will interject quickly and say that Sapase I wrote it in Antigua. Rupi and I were walking in town in Antigua. He wanted to buy some art things or some memorabilia from
Right.
Antigua. And we were walking through Antigua and this lady was there selling. She was like, stop, Foxy, stop, Foxy, stop, Foxy. I was like, what is that? She like, oh, man, what is that? She said. I said, she sounded like she said, Sapase. He said, man, I know, man. So we went to she and asked her what she said. She said, I said, Sapase. It means how you doing. It means what's up. It means it's a greeting. And I look at him and laugh, and he looked at me and laugh, and I said, boss man, I can give you 2 years to rate it. If you don't rate it, how are you going to rate it? And 2 years passed, people got all about it. And I was in the studio just chilling out. And I said, yeah, this thing coming to me all the time. So I wrote Sapase and I started to send out feelers. Before I finished writing, I started to send out feelers. And I actually called a DJ at CBC by the name of Diane Ford. And I said, if I was to walk up to you and say Sapase, what you would say? She said, I said, thank you. That's all I wanted to know. And I went and write the song.
Wow.
So, yeah, different folk strokes for different folks.
There you go. Edwin, we're at the final song. Thank you so much for the extended time as well. Thank you so much
No
for taking the
problem.
opportunity. I mean, I think
No problem.
I think shows like this really helps the audience to really understand the life of an artist, understand the amount of energy and love that they pour into the songs. And like you're sharing as well, you know, the history, how you actually come about with these songs as well. You know, so it's not, you're not just sitting there pulling things out from the sky, but you know, you're actually is life experiences that, you know, you use to actually create some fantastic music for the audience. Final song. Let's talk about it. I think you already know what's the final song, so I'll let you talk about it, and then we will play.
You already right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Again, life experiences. Okay, quick. Jamming every Crossfire had just started up, and we had a song called Crossfire Massive, and we had so much people following Crossfire, and everything that the members on stage did, the audience did, and we started to think about this dance called the Yardy dance, and you just used to be jumping around, and we find that in Nebraska, watching everybody else was doing this. So we took it, we went to Colombia, and we didn't write the song yet. We went to Colombia, we had a trip to Colombia, and we were in Cartagena, and we performed in a bull ring, the center of a bull ring, thousands and thousands of people. I was a little nervous, a lot, and I didn't think that we would have had a chance, to come out. We didn't really have any recordings as yet with that, that problem. So we had a song called Crossfire Massive. So we started with that on the stage in the bull ring, and it was quiet, so quiet. When we finished play, I was like, these people ain't doing nothing. We just did. We performing, and the people just got into it like crazy. So I started to mimic the same Crossfire dance, the same Yardy dance.
Right.
I said, what we can do? We can teach the people down here how to walk up and stuff. We just had a blast. And when we came off the stage, to be in a coliseum like that, to be something, an arena like that, when you go downstairs, it's almost like a dungeon kind of thing. So when you can hear the echoes of people saying, "We want more, we want more," that was goosebumps out of this world for me, So we went back on, we did the dog and the puppy and a half, and back to Barbados. I wrote the song. So that again, life experiences, So we taught Cartagena how to walk it, how to deal with it, and that's just the song.
That's the song. So we can play this song. That means everybody should be walking up or doing some form of walking up. Right, Edwin?
Me? With my hand.
Walk on! Holy massive! Step in line! Oh, let me go! Come on! St. George! St. Thomas! St. Peter! Christ Church! I met in the soca with me partner. Teaching how to jump to soca. Catalina! Come let me show you how. Let me teach them now. Come, start the grind. Start the grind. Start the grind. Start the grind. Once you hear inside the jam, and we sweating down as one. Black and white together come. Behind the truck and having fun. Let me go. Come. I break away. I break away now. I break away for me 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 now. I break away. Wow. Yeah, this time. Fall in line. Hey. English, Spanish, cooking we together. Showing off each other's culture. We teach them how to move. What's it come? Let me teach them now. Come. Start the grind. Start the grind. Start the grind. Start the grind. Once you hear it play the jam, and we sweating down as one. Black and white together come. Behind the truck and having fun. Let me go. Come. I break a wine. I break a wine for me now. 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 Wood boys. I break a wine for me now. I break a wine for me now. Walk on.
What a song!
St. Joseph.
I think this is one of the ultimate party starters for sure, Edwin.
You cannot play in Barbados. You cannot play without playing that tune, boss. Trust me, that song is beer voice, beer energy. Lost. Well, lost.
And of course, with the grass skirt crew on the stage as well,
There you
it's
go, there you
pure pandemonium.
God, big up the grass posse every time. Real talk. Big up. These guys just love soca music to the end, to the highest. Enough respect to those guys over the years, man. Sean, big up respect to you, my brother.
Yeah, big up Sean for sure. Edwin, COVID has really put a spoke in our wheel. As an artist, you said before, you've been a year now. You've not been traveling. You've been not working in that way, that form of fashion. For those who may not understand, because they take artists and DJs and musicians, as a joke job. But for someone who lives on music, how has this really affected you? And let's also just talk about what's the future like for Edwin Yearwood and the band Crossfire.
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret. I think people can work it out. If your income is something that you generate from like performances and working and traveling and stuff like that. And the COVID-19 has been there for as long as it has been now. I've not been on stage. I've not been traveling for over more than a year now. This is the longest time I've ever been grounded since I started in Barbados. So that, I mean, it's no secret. You're not making any money. You're not having a good time. But what keeps you grounded is that you've been able to create. You see, I'm smiling, right? This is an authentic smile. You've been able to create stuff for other people who are also going through this to get by. And you recognize more and more why you matter, why it is important for you to step up as an artist at all times. Because I just did a free birthday concert and put it up online that you can go view at any point in time, and people enjoyed it, but the whole point is that it takes money, it takes time, it takes effort, but you give back that kind of way because it is difficult for a lot of people, and whatever you can do to get people through this level of madness is important. People may not see what you're giving, but it is not important for them to see. It's important for you to continue to give. I don't think people should give and look for something in return because you're really not giving. You're
Right.
setting up yourself, as far as I'm concerned. You're setting up yourself to receive something. So I just want to give. So I come online, I make all kinds of silly, corny jokes with people. I try to keep people entertained. I give them a little bit of what I do during the day, jog, whatever the case may be, and create music. Always trying to be in the studio, always trying to create music because I owe it to them. 32 years, they were supporting me for 32 years. Why can't I give them a 3 year for the COVID? Why can't I? You know what I mean? So as 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 tough as it is for me, it does nothing to me. If I can go online and see 10,000, 20,000 people sending me messages, thanking me or sending laugh smileys and stuff, enjoying themselves because of what we were doing, one way or the other, because that's what it's all about. You want to be entertainer, step up to the last plate, be an entertainer. Show the people that back you for so long that you appreciate them. I ain't trying to get nothing. I mean, if I could get prestige, I would come. I ain't trying to get nothing out of it on that level. I just want that people you recognize that this is a crazy time.
Yeah.
From politics right back, it's a crazy time, and you need to be there for the people. And if we can help people to get through the night, that when you finish sweat or when you finish have a good time, you can just go and lay it on your head and say, "Well, at least tonight I was good." That is a job well done for somebody like me. That's the truth. That's how I feel about it. I don't know how other actors feel about it. I don't know how other people in the business of entertainment feel about it. But if I can give that little, I am good. I don't need nothing in return like that because I know when the world opens and it will, that my fans gonna have my back. I just know that. So this is a life symbiosis. This is a musical symbiosis. I give to you, you give to me, we give to the rest of the world. That's how it is. So again, I'm not one of those people that give to receive. I don't see how you give to be able to talk about it, or you give to somebody to beg you up for giving. Just give, you know. Just do what you gotta do. So that's how I see it, and I will always be there for the people that have been there for me. 32 years ain't nice, brother.
It's so true.
So,
It's so true.
so this little bit, this what I give to them as a concert, and what I give is really nothing. It's a drop in the bucket for what they've given me over the years. So again, thank you people for the support over the years, and I hope to continue having that support, and I hope to continue supporting and representing you and representing Barbados. I may not be an official Soca ambassador, but I'm a Soca ambassador.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Ain't a shots fired. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. Don't do
One
that.
final question for you. During this period, have you been writing songs?
Yes and no. again, I write from life experiences. It's a real dreary time.
Right.
It's difficult to force the issue, you know. But yeah, there are songs that have been written. But I'm the sort of person. I'm a very spontaneous person. I go for the moment. So I am sure none of them songs can really make it to the fore right now. So the next set, I don't know if they're gonna have a pop up or not, but I'm going to put it music regardless. So yeah, so look forward to that too.
The General Edwin Yearwood, thank you so much for your work over the years, 32 years in the business with the band
Want to say good
Crossfire.
night to Bunny. Want to say good night to Speed Demon there. Everybody that locked on, respect. Mwah. Bless up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity to be with us. For real, really appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
Blessings. That was the General Edwin Yearwood. That has been Conversations with the Artiste. Until next time, be good, be safe. Remember, sanitize, wear your mask. That's very important. All right. Thank you so much for checking out the show.